Try stinging nettles soup. Hi guys, welcome to a new video. This is Mecca, and if it's your first time meeting me, I live in England. I live in the south of England. I grow a lot of my vegetables. I also forage. I forage for healthy, like herbs in the wild, and also I use God's word and food to heal myself, thanks to God, from chronic fatigue, fibromyalgia and pain. Now, I did a nettle video just showing when I went to harvest some nettles, and I have had a lot of questions about how, guys, that's ice cream van so loud and it's not even that sunny. I have had a lot of questions on how I use my nettles. So this video is just going to show you how I process nettles when I have it in abundance and how I use them. So today, this is what we picked yesterday, and we already have some processing. So I'm going to share with you the step-by-step. So if something you want to watch, keep watching, stay tuned. So we start by washing our nettles. I'm going to run this into a clean sink. So I put this under running water in a clean sink, and I use a pair of tongs. I don't want to get my hands in contact with the nettles because nettles are stinging nettles for a reason. These hypodermic needles can really sting, and we'll move to processing it next. We have here a bunch of dehydrated nettles. It's in my food chopper or blender. Because it's a fairly big bunch, I love using the food chopper to process it, okay? Yes, nettles still sting after they have been dehydrated. Some of the needles will still sting you, and I don't like being stung at all, so I use my tongs to process it. It looks chopped nicely and quickly. Guys, would you believe all of that nettles is just this much in the jug? It's sitting at the 600 ml mark, halfway above it. So I'm going to reduce it further because I want to store loads of nettles. And this is the best way I find I can preserve it and take less space in my freezer or in my pantry. So I'm going to blend this, if I find the lid. That's what we're ending up with now, okay? So remember, it was just there, even after making it into powder. So there is actually a big difference. I'll show you what the texture looked like before and this texture now. So this is a texture now, and that is the texture before. Can you see the difference? That is where using a nice dry meal works. Now I have this jar in my freezer. What I have here is actually dandelion powder. The same method. I harvest my dandelions in the wild. It takes a lot of time to wash dandelions because they can be really dirty. I prefer doing mine than buying, but if you can't, you can buy them. They sell them online, and actually it's almost everywhere on Amazon and different health food shops. And dandelion, we know, is a natural liver supporter. So it's a bitter green. So this is for my tea, okay? This one is the tea. It's not for soups. You see how vibrant that nettle looks? That is because I did not process it before dehydrating. I'll show you another batch that I have chopped before I dehydrated. Because nettles take up a lot of space in the dehydrator, you see the leaves are quite massive and broad, and the stalks take a lot of space up. I sometimes chop it this way into my dehydrator. However, I find that when you do it this way, it sometimes loses, I think it oxidizes more because the color is not as bright, and I'll show you the end result. So remember, this is the powder from the ones we dehydrated as whole, and I'll show you this one when we powder it, okay? First, pop it into the food chopper just to reduce the work and the time, we spend blending it. Okay, let's look at it. It's blended now. Oh my God, you won't believe it. The difference is ridiculously clear. Same harvest day, same processing day. Main difference was these were chopped. Can you see that? That is chopped before, and that is made in whole. And I don't know. Look at that. This is not abnormal. This happens because I have chopped the nettles down, increased the surface area so it could fit into my small dehydrator. But the consequence of that is oxidization. You have it breaking down faster than when it's in its whole form. So if you want to dehydrate nettles, choose what you want to do. So let's go over to process the fresh ones, okay? Nettles are so versatile. Think about it as your everyday greens. So you can use green fresh nettles like this to make your soup, or you can use, you know, like the powder, the dehydrated powder to make soup. And you can have them even in juices. You can juice your nettles. I have juiced it before. I'm not too keen because in my mind I still think of those hypodermic needles and I don't want to get anyone stuck in my in my, you know, gut. But it's perfectly fine to juice. You can make a smoothie out of it. Same, I'm not too keen. You can make pestos, and actually nettle pesto is quite nice. But one other way I love processing it, and in the raw form, is in vinegar. So this is raw apple cider vinegar with the mother. So all I'll do now is now I am not using the dried ones, I am using the fresh ones. Take the fresh ones that I've just washed with the stalk and all, and I'm just going to put it in here. And you can leave this for up to 6 weeks, and then you can start using the vinegar for your salads, and you can even blend it into a puree and add it into your salads, and also into, you know, whatever you want to add some vinegar in. It's actually quite nice and also quite nutritious. Just make sure you have this covered up. I'm just going to add a little bit more vinegar at the top. If you have to put this in vinegar, make sure every other day you open this to burp it to get rid of the excess air, because it could explode. You could have a lot of gas formation because it is almost like lactic acid bacteria formation. The second other thing you can do to preserve it for long-term use and as a medicine is to tincture it. So this, I made this, look at the date there, 2023. This is dandelions, stinging nettles, and oh, this is all dandelions actually. This is all dandelions, but it's the flowers and the root, and this is in alcohol. I use organic vodka, and it's really good. It's really potent as a tincture. I don't use tinctures because of high histamines. It does bother me, so I give this out to people like that really need it, not just to give it out for people that just want to keep it in their shelf. And yeah, you can do that to nettles, and nettle root tincture is so good for prostate health. I actually have a little bit left that has been decanted. Let me show you. That is nettle root tincture from 2023 as well. Can you see that? It's already been decanted, and this is so powerful. Research supports the beneficial claims that nettle root tincture has. So it's something you should look up if you're really looking for prostate support. So these are the 3 forms of long-term preservation. It's tincture it, soak it in vinegar, and also, yeah, that's it really, powder. Let's make some beautiful, delicious nettle soup, shall we? That will be the final part of how I use nettle. I use it for any sort of soup. Like I said, replacing it as spinach in all your cookings. So we'll make nettle soup. So we are going to be making fresh nettle soup. We've got the nettles that we've just washed. I've got some spring onions, optional. I've got some mushrooms, and I have beautiful coconut cream here. I made coconut cream, and I have a little bit of coconut oil. So let's get cooking. Just put some oil into the pan and let it melt. Whilst that is melting, we're gonna chop our spring onions up. So our spring onions have been chopped nicely. Goes in. Just cover it. Mushrooms are optional, but I like having them here. Add some thyme, black pepper, a little bit of salt. Add the mushrooms. Okay, nice and cooked. I scoop it out onto another plate. Okay, set that aside. And next we're gonna go for the nettles. So these are the mainstay. I'm just going to add a little bit of the coconut cream here. We don't want the pot burning, so just add some in there. By all means, you can blend this if you want it smooth, if you want it chunky, whatever texture you want, just like you make any other soup. Okay. Oh yeah, I like that texture. Now this soup is literally ready to serve. I'm gonna now add in the mushrooms and the spring onions. That's where we get the chunky bits from. And then finally, just to make it a little bit more creamy, just add the rest of the milk. Our soup is ready to serve, just like that. Guys, this soup is delicious. It's simple, in my opinion, and it is delicious. Now I'm serving it with some sourdough slices, homemade sourdough bread. Just put a little bit there and a little bit there. I have here some tofu, suya spice tofu. I'm just gonna pop a little there, and we have a meal. That's it all done, guys. You have things you can do with stinging nettles now. I add nettles to my Nigerian soups and it's so good. So I have shown you 3 things you can do with nettles. You can make tea, you can dehydrate them for soups or tea. You can also tincture them in vinegar, and you can also tincture them in vodka. You can use the roots, and you can also make fresh nettle soup or even fresh nettle tea, or some people even juice them. Some even add them into salads. That's the whole conclusion of this. Nettles are really versatile, like any green leafy vegetable. Anyway, if you've enjoyed the video, has it added any value to you? Please do not forget to thumbs up. It helps us grow and share to more people to know how you can make the most of these beautiful, abundant herbs that are free in nature. And also, if you haven't yet, kindly subscribe. I really appreciate it. Anyway, until next time, I hope to see you in another video. Let me know what your thoughts are and how you also use nettles. Let me know. Share it so that we can all learn together. Anyway, bye.